All right, everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to cover backend SEO. So if I go down to our funnel here, we're going to be talking about this section right here. So backend SEO, all the ways to optimize it and basically the major ways to improve it. This funnel, if you guys are familiar, if you're new to this channel, just basically covers every single way to optimize your service business online. So here we're going to be talking about service businesses. These might apply to e-commerce stores, but in most cases they're going to apply to service business. At least it's tilted towards there. And then this is just basically every single way you could capture leads online, basically. So 99% of the ways you can. And one of the ways to do this is to increase your search engine rankings. So to be ranking higher on Google, as well as increasing the conversion rate from when people see you on Google and actually end up clicking on your listing and clicking on your Google presentation profile, your listing, and then landing on your website. So increasing your conversion rate there, as well as increasing the leads quantity there. So we're going to be talking about backend SEO. There's going to be three aspects to this. So front-end SEO, backend SEO, link building SEO. We just did the video on front-end SEO. If you want to check that out, this is probably I would say front-end SEO is probably the most important in terms of highest. It helps your conversion rate the highest and it helps your rankings the highest. It's actually the one that has the most value for the least amount of effort. So front-end SEO seems to be the simplest ones to set up. Backend SEO is a little bit more complex, but still has some value to it. Then link building SEO is the one that has the most spend to it. So it's actually a continuous spending activity, but at the same time has probably the highest potential reward to it. So let's say front-end SEO might get you, let's say, a 20% boost increase in visitors to site. Back-end SEO might be the same thing, but link building SEO is just a question of money. You have $1 million to spend on your link building SEO, you'll probably get $1 million worth of traffic to your website. So for backend SEO, I'm just going to show you guys a little bit of why we know these tricks to work. Some things that the thing is with Google and optimizing for Google and even other search engines like Bing is that they don't tell you the algorithms that they have. So what you do is a little bit of guesswork, a little bit of theory, and a little bit of what's spilled out, whatever Google tells you. So you have to use those informations and try to make a judgment call. We use that information, and we use it front-end SEO, back-end SEO, and link building SEO for businesses that we worked with. So I'll give you examples here of our case studies. So 142% more visitors for Paris hair salons. We've got 101% boost in visitors for Empire Barbershop. Here we have ClickShip's logistic company. We got 110% boost in visitors. And then we have Elko Roofing with 244, going from 79 to 244 visitors a month. 308% boost in visitors per month. Now, it seems like not much, compared to ClickShip, because ClickShip went from 2,000 visitors a month to 4,200. But you have to keep in mind that Elko Roofing, their average roof, I'm not going to mention their actual numbers, but let's say in their case, an average roof, let's say in the United States, might be $30,000 for a residential roof. This is not to say that those are their numbers. I'm not going to mention those, but in any case, having more leads from a $30,000 standpoint is a lot more worth it than any other type of traffic. So just keep it there in mind. But in any case, just to show you guys what we actually were able to achieve with these improvements. If you want more case study videos, we have them on this channel. We have more going into depth about these case studies, and in the future I'll be adding some future case studies as well, some future progress of every single one. Now let's get into the actual improvements to be made. So for backend SEO, we have these aspects here that I've written out, and we actually have a training. So this training here, you guys can access for free. It's going to be linked in the description below. You guys can access to this training as well as the 11 other trainings. So I have 12 total trainings going over basically every single way to optimize your service business online. If you want to access this funnel here, this is a paid product. So same thing, link in the description below, but this is a paid one. But if you want it for free, you have all those 12 trainings, you gotta get access to it. Now, backend SEO, let's go into a little bit more of a descriptive theme here. What actually is backend SEO? So backend SEO, search engine optimization, by the way, for SEO, refers to the optimizations made to the backend of your site. So mostly in terms of code or in terms of what people they don't visibly see. So that could help you rank higher on Google search engines. So basically what you're trying to do with backend SEO, front-end SEO is more of a trying to communicate to actual people that your website is what they're searching for, as well as communicate to Google from the front part of it, of what your business, what your website represents. Backend SEO is more communicating with Google in terms of code, in terms of a non-human language, what your business is. So that's it. So that's basically the differences. So when you're talking to robots, the other one you're talking to humans, and then you rank there. And then link building SEO is just like it's just fuel to the fire. basically. So why optimize the backend? Optimizing the backend of your site can help you rank higher on Google, Bing, and other search engines, allowing you to get more visitors to your site and potentially increase the revenue of your business. Improving it can do the following: volume to site, increase rankings on Google search, and improve quality of visitors to site, improving lead quality, because maybe if you're targeting it properly with your backend SEO, Google's going to show you to a target audience that is more precisely in line with what you're actually selling or what you're actually doing. So if you haven't done backend SEO, you haven't done any SEO within your business, then maybe your website is not well represented on Google, and so they're gonna pop you up in places that maybe you don't belong. For keywords, you're ranking for keywords that actually don't make any sense. If you're optimizing every single aspect of your search engine strategy, then you could probably close that in and be more precise. And so when Google's going to show you, actually be more targeted. And so your conversion rate, your close rate, and so on are going to be increased there. So let's get into the actual training here. So let me just skip all this here. This is more of your agency stuff. If you're curious about that, you have the information in the trainings. So introduction to backend SEO. Now, we've talked about this a little bit, so let me actually get into the technical foundations of backend SEO. So you have your schema markup. So schema markup, structured data markup. This is code that you could basically inform Google about what your business is, and then that's going to allow Google to pop it up within search results. So you have the article here. So Google, there's a link here if ever you want, but Google Search Central, you check out all structured data features, and they're going to tell you exactly how to set all these things up. So what are they? Well, they're basically, articles, book actions, breadcrumbs, carousels, reviews. There's a bunch of them. If you go to the link, actually, maybe it's better if I just show you guys. So if I go here, you have a bunch of them. You have carousels, course lists, data sets, discussion forums, education, whatever. In any case, the most important ones I would say are FAQs. So you see here, the FAQ like this. So you can actually have your business, your listing on Google show this up. So instead of just you having the normal information here, this thing could pop up there, taking more space and increasing your conversion rate. Then you got other stuff like a local business one. This is going to pop up on the right side of the screen. So you can actually take up more space. This is different than a Google My Business listing. Then the other one that is important is a review. Well, there's Q&As also. You can increase your Q&As, but the review snippet here. So you see here, puts a rating, puts votes. This is good for e-commerce stores, but it's also good for service business because you could actually put ratings. Let's say you have your Google ratings, you can actually put them here and embed them there. So what that does is that if somebody's searching for your service, so I'll give you guys the example. Let's say if I search for roofing NYC, and by the way, these tricks apply for any type of service business, whether you're an agency, consultant, coach, if you're a local service business like a hair salon or restaurant, these things apply. But in any case, if you see here, roofing NYC, this is the title tag, the meta description. And if I go down, you see this company here, City Roofing, they have these snippets here. So this is something that you could add. So this business didn't add it, or this business added it, or at least Google didn't recognize it, so they didn't put it here, but they did. Then after that, you had another example with reviews. Maybe they're not popping up on this page. Let me see in the second page if they pop up. So, okay, so you see here, Angie's List, they have reviews here. So you can actually have this pop up. Now what that does is twofold. One, it increases your conversion rate because it increases the likelihood that if somebody sees this, it attracts their attention, number one, but also increase the likelihood they're actually going to click on this. Also, you could add these images here. In any case, that does that. And also it teaches Google what you are about. And so it increases the likelihood that they actually rank you higher on their search engines. So this is it for schema markups and structured data. I'm not going to go into actually how to set these up because you have all these tutorials within Google that are going to be more precise than whatever I could explain here. So in any case, you should check that out. But for best practices for implementing SEO friendly markups, you want to choose relevant schemas. So in most, I believe in Wix, you could only put 4 per page. So you have to choose how many you could upload. I don't know if that's exactly the same thing for WordPress, but in any case for Wix, I believe it's something like 4 or 5. You want to select the most appropriate schemas for the type of content. So common types include organization, local business, person, product, and so on and so forth. I would say the top 5, if you were to only choose 5, I would say review, number 1. You want to add those reviews. You want to probably have a local business. So this it's gonna pop up on the right, the local business one. Maybe a breadcrumb, just because it takes more space on the page. It just shows a breadcrumb of what page it is. FAQ page, as well as the would say probably product, because product you could embed your service in it. It doesn't actually have to be a product. You go with your service, and so it pops up as a product, but it's actually your service, and so it takes up more space in the Google searches. So things like that to be considered. You want to use a JSON LD format. This is just something most people use for setting these up. This is just the formatting of it. Again, in the tutorials within Google Search Central, you'll be able to figure that out as well. Test and validate your markup. Use tools like Google Structured Data Testing Tools. You just want to make sure that if you uploaded them, you want to test them out. Just make sure they actually pop up, because most times if you're searching it up through Google, let's say you're looking for up your company, you're trying to see if they actually pop up live, it's not going to tell you, yes, it's not going to show up potentially. But if you just test and validate it, at least you know that you've sent it to Google, and then if they approve it, then potentially it'll be popped up. This is not something that it's a direct, like most cases with Google, it's not a direct, if I do this, they're going to let me promote it. It's more like if I do this, they potentially can let me promote it. So it's not a guarantee. Integrate schema deeply. So fill out every schema with all the information you can about your business. The more information you give, usually the better for Google, as well as the better for the customers. So let's say if in a local business schema, this one here, so the local business, if you were to do, well, this one here, I think I have the image above. In any case, this one here, this local schema, actually, let me just show you guys here. So this one here, you can have a bunch of information. You have your address, your open hours, your book an appointment, your links, your directions, and so on. You want to basically fill that out with every single information you can. Even the ones that you think don't make sense, just fill it out, because it also takes more space within the Google page. So not only does it give more information to the person, but also just takes up more space, so it increases the likelihood that people are actually going to click on your business. So something to take into consideration there. Now, taking a little time to load. Let's get back to, all right, so let's get back to the next part. So robots.txt. Now, robots.txt, it's a file, like a set of rules for search engines. It tells them which parts of your website they are allowed to visit and which parts they should avoid. You put this file in your website main folder so search engines can easily find it and follow your instructions. Basically, this is, you want certain pages of your business, of your website, to be crawled by Google and certain pages not to be. The reason you might want to do this is, first of all, if you have pages that are just meant for internal use, maybe they're documents internally or whatever, you don't want those to be available online. So you're going to do robot.txt files. You're going to teach Google that these pages are not going to be shown, and they shouldn't crawl them, and they shouldn't spend their time or spend any rating on those pages. Another thing to consider is that Google kind of sees your website as a whole, and if parts of your website aren't performing well because they're pages that are internal or they're pages that are not meant to be public, but you've set them as public, they're going to consider those pages as ranking low, and they're going to consider those pages as, let's say, bad pages, and they're going to reduce your whole rank of it. This is a very basic explanation of it. There's more details to it, but in any case, they're going to rank your whole rank down because of those pages. So you want to ensure that whatever you're teaching Google with the robots.txt, I don't have actual tutorials on how to set these things up because it gets a little bit technical, but in any case, this is the principle of it. You want pages you want to crawl, pages you don't want Google to crawl, and then other exceptions that you could set as well. So best practices, here are the different ways you can educate Google on how to crawl and not crawl your website. So specific crawl instructions, use disallow to block search engines from looking to certain parts of your website, and use allow to make exceptions and then see specific parts you want them to access. So again, like I was saying, if you have internal pages, or maybe you have pages for, internal, and maybe some of your clients, it's a specific link that they need to use for their actual business. You don't want these pages to be up on Google. Crawl delay. This is advanced, very like an advanced theory, but basically what you would do is certain pages you want Google to crawl first because they have a higher domain authority, or they're higher in authority within Google's eyes. And so you want those to be searched for if they're searching for your website, and then these other ones to be searched second. Just helping with rankings a little bit. Sitemap reference, so add the location of your sitemap file in the robots.txt file. This helps search engines find, visit all the important pages on your site, making sure that they are properly indexed. So this is just, you upload your sitemap XML, and just upload it with, add the location of your sitemap file within the robots.txt as well. Test robots.txt settings. Use tools like Google Search Console robot.txt tester. There's a link there to check for errors and confirm that all the files are correctly set for blocks and allow access. So SSL certificates. This is I'm gonna go scroll through this pretty fast because this is something that probably most businesses have. If you don't have it, I believe it costs you $4 more a year to have this set. This just ensures that your HTTP is secured. S is set for that. Now, if you're using Wix, if you're using WordPress, if you're using the major website developing businesses, agencies, or whatever you would call them, they have this set up automatically for your website. So you don't have to think about this. You don't have to set this up. Just make sure that you have it maybe, and then you're good to go. In most cases, this is already done. This is something to consider if you're doing, very advanced programming or very advanced web development. Maybe you're doing it all manually. Then you might want to make sure that you're having this set up. In any case, all the information is here. For the XML sitemap, this is I would say the most important part of your SEO or backend SEO strategy is you want to upload your XML sitemap. So what is a sitemap? An XML sitemap is a file that lists all the important pages on your website. It helps search engines like Google find it and explore your site easily. Think of it like a roadmap that shows search engines where to go to see all your important pages. So again, it's like a map. You share that map with Google, say, hey, look, these are all the pages on my website. This is what they link to. This is how they're all structured. This is what it is. So you basically upfront the information to them that helps them understand your website better, then that helps them rank you potentially higher. Very basic explanations here. Even I don't understand the depths of these things, but I just know that we've done this for our clients in the past. This is something that most SEO, I believe all SEO agencies should do, and is to upload an XML sitemap. One thing that's on the side of this is that most people are just going to upload it to Google, but for Bing, I believe it's something like 3 to 4% or even 6% of traffic goes to Bing website, goes through Bing. So we were searching through Bing. What that means is that your XML sitemap should be uploaded to Bing as well, because maybe you're not capturing those types of leads because you haven't updated. So it just helps Bing as well. So in all cases, just upload it to both. You could upload it by going to the link Google Search Console or Bing Webmaster Tools. The links are here, but in any case, if I just preview here, this is what it's going to look like. In any case, you go to it, you upload the sitemap, and you're done. So pretty simple to set up. hreflang tags. So what are they? So hreflang tags tell search engines which language and country your web page is for. They help Google show the right version of your content to people based on their languages and location. This is going to be for much bigger websites. So if you're a website that has, thousands of pages, is working in different countries, different languages, different variations, you might want to include these tags just to indicate to Google, okay, well, this is the French section of the website, this is the Spanish section of the website, this is the English section, this is the United section, this is the United States section, this is the Canada section, and so on and so forth. So it just helps Google organize it. So when it pops up for that person that's in the specific region, it pops up the information that is in the correct language and correct currency or whatever other values that are going to be dependent on that region. Again, very advanced thing. If you're most service businesses, if you're most local service businesses, this is not going to apply. This is going to be for businesses that are doing international trade, or they're doing national, completely national business. Best practices. You want to place you want to identify target languages and regions, determine the languages and regions your website targets, and integrate the tags for each. Place hreflang tags correctly. You have 3 options for adding hreflang tags attributes. Choose the one that suits you best: HTML head section, the website sitemap, or HTTP header. Use the correct hreflang structure. Regularly update them. Include self-referencing tags. Use absolute URLs. In any case, all these are more advanced complications. To be honest, even this goes over my head, because this is something that we haven't had to deal with much, because for most service businesses, this is not something to be taken care of. In any case, let's pass to the next session here. So user experience enhancements. So improve the user experience by making your site easier to navigate, delivering content quickly, and optimizing for mobile devices. This helps keeps visitors on your site longer and reduces the chances of them leaving quickly, which can indirectly boost your SEO. So one thing to help with this in terms of backend SEO is breadcrumb navigation. So what is it? It's basically what this looks like here. So instead of just having your homepage lead directly to, let's say that person's on the product page, instead of just having the option for them to go back with the arrow on their tab, they actually have the option within the website. So it would pop up, let's say at the top left corner or whatever. They would have the option to click back those pages. This helps Google understand the structure of that person, how they're structuring themselves through the website, so where they're at in the process. It also helps them search back, trace back their steps easier instead of them having to go back with the tab navigation. In any case, small improvements. This is something that helps SEO in some way, but at the same time is more for convenience with the clients navigating your site. So you can enhance breadcrumbs with schema markups. So this is the thing that was mentioned before with the schema markups. You have the breadcrumbs. So if you have them included within your website, then you could showcase them. Actually, let's go back here. You could showcase them here. So your breadcrumbs navigation that indicates the page's position in the site's hierarchy. So you could actually embed that there within these snippets. So that when a person lands on a certain page, you're going to see which stage of the hierarchy they're in. So that's pretty much it for that. Now let's get back down to the other pages. Taking a little time to load because we're filming this video. Let's go back down here. All right, 404 pages. So in theory, you want to always redirect pages from 404 errors to live pages with your own redirects. But in the case that you don't have any updated, or you haven't updated your whole site, or some mistakes happen, or people are typing in odd URLs, this is how you would set up a 404 error page. So what it is that it's a page that looks like this. So when somebody has a URL that isn't connected to anything, so if you have a page, let's say you have your home page, you have your about us page, and that person on the URL types in, balloon / balloon, they're going to end up on a 404 error page. Now the thing is that most people are not going to touch this. So if you're on Wix, it's going to show up a Wix style 404 error page. If you're on WordPress, whatever it's going to be their different style predetermined templates. But what you can actually do is set it up in a way where you get people to engage with your business. So let's say a good example here is Alex Hormozy. What they do is that they have it here set up so that when somebody goes on an odd URL, it pops up this page. So what does that do? Well, it gets people engaged back with the business. So instead of just being this whole blank page that looks like this, they have information here. So yes, grow my company. They have some more information here of why this URL might not exist. They have all their header, they have their footer, they have all the information set. I'll give you guys an example of what we have at Vizions Digital. So if I go to visionsdigital.com and I write a random URL, you guys won't see it because the tab is hidden, but they're going to land on this page. So what happens is that instead of them landing on the random 404 error page with no information, at least now they have the page to download the training. So they could put their information here, access the training, and then even have more information here, bonuses, review tab cards, software list, even some case studies about our business and so on and so forth. So just makes it much more engaging, increasing your conversion rate. So instead of just having a random page that has no information on it, at least now you have something that actually captures leads and potentially increases your conversion rate. So very underutilized trick here. Probably, how much of a conversion rate boost or how much of a boost to your business that I actually have as an effect? Probably not that much, but in any case, it's just a one-page redesign and then you're done for life. 301 redirects, this is an important one for businesses that are changing their websites. So if you're changing a website and you had a URL in the past that was maybe an About Us page, and now you decide to take out that About Us page for any reason, you don't want them to land on the 404 page. You want them to land on your homepage or on the new updated About Us page that maybe you called a different thing. So if people are searching for those old pages, you want them to be redirected. Basically, you can have a redirect for any variation of URLs, but you're going to use them mostly for when you're transferring websites or you're changing the URL names. You want that old URL to link to a new page. What you do is, this is going to be dependent on the type of software you're using. So if it's Wix, WordPress, or whatever it may be. In any case, you redirect that old page to the new page. That new page has the information that is updated and all that type of information. And it makes it seamless for the client, thinking that, that person was used to interacting with that About Us page. It doesn't exist anymore. You don't have to show them a 404 page saying, hey, it doesn't exist anymore. You just redirect them to the new About Us page, ensures that the traffic flows, so the link juice, so the SEO link juice flows and isn't broken up and split up in different pages. So interesting, a very important fact, a very important thing to optimize when you're doing your website redesigns especially. So best practices: page-to-page redirect an old page to a new page, domain-to-domain redirect. So if you have old domains even, you change your business name, you change your whole branding. Well, those old clients that were going on those old pages, maybe you have their URLs set up in a document somewhere where they're going to click on it. and you're not owning that domain, or you're not redirecting that domain to your new website, they're going to be all confused. So you could, especially if you have a track record, this is more for businesses that have track records or that have been online for a while. You're changing your domain, you're changing your branding, you want all those to be redirected to your new website. So if you have non-www to www or vice versa, you could change those up. These are going to be less common occurrence. And then HTTP to HTTPS. So if you had, like discussed above in the SSL section, if you haven't had that set up, then maybe most people are going to be still searching through an HTTP. You want to redirect those to the HTTPS version of that page. Monitoring and fixing 301 redirect issues. So you want to make sure you don't have any loops, any broken redirects, or any redirect chains that don't make sense. So ensure each redirect goes straight to the final URL without multiple steps. So if you have the page that was about us, you don't want them to redirect them to a new contact us page, which then redirects them to the new about us page. You want a linear one-step redirect. You don't want any loops. So then maybe what could happen is that by mistake or whatever, you want to just make sure that your home page, let's say that about us page we're saying that you removed, is now linked to the new about us page. But that new about us page, you didn't like it, so you decide to go back to the old one. And now you haven't fixed you did a 301 redirect to the old one, but the old one is still connected to the new one that you decided to not change. So now you got a loop where the person is eternally going to be in the loop. It's never actually going to land on a page, and that's going to bug them out. It's not going to let them interact with your website. Broken redirects, so identify and fix any redirects that lead to dead pages for 4 hours to ensure all redirects are live on relevant pages. How do they affect SEO? Well, 301 redirects transfer page rank from the old URL to your new URL. So basically the link juice, the link power from your old pages to the new ones. Before 2016, there was a 15% loss of page rank, but now Google states that there is no loss, making 301 redirects useful for maintaining SEO value. So if you're changing your website back then, you might get some loss. But now if you're changing your website, you're changing URLs, you change the whole structure, that flow of juice, the flow of rankings is going to stay, as long as you have the rest of the information the same, and maybe you're just changing the URL. That's going to keep the power flowing. Using 301 directs to boost organic traffic, so you can consolidate content. You can merge similar pages into one and redirect old URLs to new ones, improve pages. So let's say if you know that you had a blog that was a blog in 2019 about this certain topic, but that topic doesn't exist anymore. So I could give you an example, like a new product that came on the market, but now it's been discontinued. You don't want people to go to that page because that page is at that end. So instead of them, you have still traffic going to that page. Maybe you have 50 people a month going to that page. You want to redirect it to a new page or a new blog, maybe an updated blog. So if you had that 2024 blog, now you want to update it to 2025. So you want to redirect that traffic there. Just keeps people updated, keeps people in the fresh new content. It just boosts your organic traffic. You can merge websites, so you can buy another relevant website and redirect its content to your site. This is a strategy that's interesting. So if you have a competitor that's maybe going out of business and they just decide to close their doors, what you can actually do is just offer them to buy their website. You buy the domain, you buy their URLs, you buy the access to their URLs and the domain, and all you do is you redirect all that traffic to your website. Maybe it's a web page that states, in partnership with this business, you decide to merge and whatever. Maybe if you're merging businesses to one business, so if you're acquiring other businesses, you can set this up. But in any case, instead of losing all that traffic, because people are still clicking on those things, people are still searching those things up and landing on that page. So you don't want to just lose that. You can merge that within you. So this is an opportunity if you're seeing businesses that are closing down around you that are in your similar industry, you can actually use those to your advantage. So that's pretty much it for 301 redirects. Here's an in-depth guide. So this is I believe it's href blog if you want more information about that. And that's pretty much it for the 301 redirects. And that's pretty much it in conclusion for backend SEO. A little bit more technical than front-end SEO. Front-end SEO is a little bit easier to understand and even set up. Even in our case, some of these are too advanced for our needs, so it's not even worth it for us to delve into them. But this is just to show you guys, all the potential of backend SEO and what actually can be done. So let me get back to our funnel here. So if I show you, this is all the backend SEO possibilities there. And what does it actually affect your business? So we were talking about before the case studies that we have of 100% more visitors to site, but what does that actually mean to your business? Does that even give you more revenue and so on? So let me go to the projections calculator. So I have one here, which also is included within the the Miro board. So if you guys get access to the Miro board, once again, it's a paid product. But if you guys want that's going to be linked below in the description, and you'll get access to the projections. But if you just want the 12 trainings, like the backend SEO training, you want access to all the links, those are going to be free. Link to the description below. Now, let's get into this here. So let's say this business is pretend business, and I've done this in the past, but let's say this pretend business has 2,000 visitors a month, 3% conversion rate, 30% close rate, AOV of $2,000, and the refund rate of 2%. Their monthly profit, monthly revenue is $35,000, monthly profit around $8,800. That is their current standing. So that's what they're making off their website. Now, imagine you were to increase the results of your search engine by optimizing your backend SEO, and you were to get 300 more people to visit your website. Or let's just call it 500, just to make it a little bit more simple. Now that's leading you to an increase automatically of 25% more profit. So in this case, $2,205. Now, by improving your search engine results, so improving your backend SEO, you might get a boost in search engine rankings and getting more people to visit your site, depending on how deep you go into these strategies. But you also get an increase in conversion rate. Like you were saying with the 404 pages or the 301 redirects, maybe those people that actually did visit your site, so they count as a visitor, didn't actually convert to anything because they landed on a page that was empty, landed on a page that wasn't relevant to what they were actually searching for, and so they actually bounce off. So your conversion was 3%. Now with that improvement, let's say you're increasing it by 10%. So now you're increasing even more profitability by these metrics. So you're going from 2,000 visitors to 2005. You're going from a close rate of 3%, conversion rate from 3% to 3.3%. So you see how these all have an effect on one another. And like I keep repeating in the other videos, every single aspect has an exponential, has a multiplicative effect on the others, because an increase in 10% of conversion rate doesn't just increase the conversion rate on these initial 2,000. They're also increasing on these extra 500. So this is a double, it's not a double, an actual double, but it's doubling as a double effect. The two values are getting augmented because of this. Now, if you're increasing, let's say your close rate, now your close rate is augmented, it's going to increase the conversion rate that is here, and also the adapted conversion rate or the added conversion rate, and then it's also going to increase the visitors and the added visitors. So you see how every single aspect has an effect on every single other one, and then everything just multiplies from each other. So that's pretty much it for the backend SEO training. Once again, if you guys want to access those 12 trainings, so basically front-end SEO, backend SEO, and link building SEO, as well as the other ones that we have, so Google My Business, review sites, and all that type of good stuff, you guys can get access to that in the description below. Apart from that, if you guys have any questions, anything you want to add, anything you're confused about, any questions at all, please let me know in the comments. I'll try to answer them all. And if you want more things to be added to this whole board, please let me know as well. I want to keep adding to this. I want to keep making it better and better and better. So please feel free to tell me in the comments what you'd like to see more of, and potentially I'll be adding this to the board. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.